My name is Lillie Watson. I live in Tucson, Arizona. I'm a writer. I work at a bookstore and I volunteer for a literacy nonprofit on the weekends. I wrote an essay about how I found freedom of my identity and freedom of self through reading Black authors and kind of nurturing my Black identity. So I'm going to read a chunk of it just kind of further into the essay, but here I go. Freedom found me in Baldwin's tragic heroes, in Morrison's lush cadences, and Butler's brevity. Once I began reading Black authors, my own artistry flourished, and I realized that there'd been a block, a stoppage, somewhere in my brain that not only choked my creative path, but my entire identity in general. I used to just read whatever sounded good, write characters who didn't look like me or come from my background. I wrote about people and things I didn't relate to when I really looked at them, fitting an image I wanted to be associated with instead of one that was true to me. My sense of identity was just as flat. Then I read Giovanni's Room for class and my heart exploded. Though it's one of Baldwin's titles with a white main character, learning about the prolific and revolutionary author himself set my expansion in motion. Over the next few years, I delved deeper and deeper into Black literature, which expanded to a more thorough Black history and soon more Black music, etc. Throughout college, I made it a point to take as many Black-centered courses as I could. I read Beloved and felt like for the first time, I really saw slavery as the vile, sinister, maddening thing it was. I learned of the Tulsa massacre and realized if that could be left out of high school history, I had not been taught real history at all. I encountered the distinct and commanding voices of Angela Davis and Kwame Ture, feeling empowered and awakened when I took in more about the people, history, and movements who made up one whole half of who I am. Perhaps the most important thing I've learned is that the freedom and joy and pleasure that comes from nurturing your Blackness does bear its cost. There's this tremendous weight that Black people everywhere are walking around with, whether they realize it or not. We are born with the legacy of freedom on our backs in a country still interested in penitentiary chains. But since I began to feel this part of myself, I've never felt more alive and aware, enlightened and happy, confident and free to express myself. I've gathered more friends and felt the power of walking down the street with a group of all Black people. I felt the glee of being greeted by complete strangers as if we were old friends, simply for being the only other Black person in the store. I found an amazing partner and realized the strength and beauty of our Black love. There's just something about Black people, about Blackness. There's nothing sweeter and freer. Yay. So that's me. There's more after that, but thank you, Rwana.
You could keep going if you want to.
Okay, I guess I'll read the last
Finish it up.
Keep going.
This is the last couple paragraphs. I know my last stop towards real freedom, this last and perhaps the biggest piece to my self-searching puzzle. My father is a whole other mountain needing to be climbed, looming in the background, growing farther and closer at the same time. You'd think after so many years, the damage would be, if not healed, at least scarred enough for another attempt. It just depends on the day. I'm looking forward to that freedom when I can look at myself, my Blackness, and my relationship to it and not feel any vacant spaces. I know I'll get there soon. I'm nearly there now. All right, thank you.